Hello, Commander.
Partly restore the whatever. Okay, so you guys are almost done with that, and there is a invasions group ready, so that's good. Okay, so let's you.
Situation log updated.
Hell yeah! Finally! Christ! The best possible outcome. Whoa, hang on, what's this? Yes! Oh, we did it! Yes! Oh, I finally beat the fucking game! Woo! Alright, that's some celebration shit right there. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Give me. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yes! Fucking finally!
No, you don't need that makeup. Take me back to the time and place where the music still rocks and the people weren't fake. Oh, won't you please let me go? Come on, put in the time cause it's worth it. Back against the wall, playing suey tennis balls, can't murk 'em. We Steve Urkel, we keep working on what matters to the family team.
Woo! Fucking finally!
Dropping the ball, opposite of Ed Reed, but he's stopping them all. I deliver the goods, I keep dropping them off. Ain't been paid, still never taking a loss. Bob Frost with the travels, my road stay dirty. Even if I whisper, I know you still heard me. Truth resonates, my words are Watergate. Put that shit on tape, Woodward and Bernstein. Burned him with his own words against him. Think before I speak, turgid defenseman. Lurid with your words and it's patently absurd. Hand up your ass, your puppeteer's Jim Henson. I might be a grouch, but I ain't no slouch. 7 foot with a straight back. Fuck your couch. Rick J. Her name is Hip Hop.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Finally, we finally beat... That was... I want to say, hang on, because I haven't... I haven't played any other... Hang on. I want to see how many actual hours that took. Alright, so, Stellaris itself... It took me 37 hours. 37! Just to beat this one fucking round. 37! And that was on normal AI and with basically minimal effort from, the other stuff. 37 hours. So here's let me give you my review after playing this game for 37 hours of only one campaign, okay? Or one mission, one round, whatever the fuck you want to call it, alright? This has been only one game, and I've put 37 hours into beating this thing. So, off the top of my head, is it worth it? Yes or no? Yeah, I've had fun. It's challenging, but it's fair challenging. I would say that the learning curve isn't terrible. If you come into it with basically minor experience in any RTS, you should be perfectly fine. I would say though that the micromanagement does quickly kind of become both the steeple and the crux of the game. I mean, at the end there, you guys saw, I was spending more time just kind of making sure every single itty-bitty little piece was going, instead of more, let me just send my ships out because I have all of these AI running my galaxy, or my system. I would say that the AI, the self-governing AI, isn't really the most helpful, which kind of sucks because you need to use it, but at the same time you don't want to, you know? The spaceship battle, or the space combat, is personally, in my opinion, abysmal. I think that for a game of this much depth and this much kind of like, I mean, it's very beautiful to say the least, but this much depth and experience, I feel like they sort of just threw in the combat as like a, well, how are we gonna beat, how can I beat another player? We'll put it in combat, and we'll give them numbers and shit. It's very watered down, where I would say most RTS games, I mean, even if, I mean, besides maybe Civilization, no other, any other RTS at least puts in a bit of, effort into the combat. And I would say that, the policies, the government structures, I mean, down to practically literally handing out tariffs to individual planets, I mean, it's fantastic, but it's a very focused, it's very much more focused on the government structure that you're building instead of the combat and the exploration. The more of like, oh, I need to send this army here and do that, because like, I was running all of this, and I was just a fucking, you guys saw me, I was a fucking mess. You can't, I understand not being able to vassalize super kind of like, having like satellite sectors. I understand that that's impossible, but only having a war score of like 100, it feels a lot more difficult to try and beat some of these much bigger sectors, because you have to go like 3-planet chunk, then you have to wait 10 years, which, could take forever, and that just fucking sucks. And then, I don't know what the fuck was going on here. I don't know how that these guys started kind of like forming their own thing, but I can almost guarantee when I continue playing this off stream, I feel like this, I can understand the AI rebellion, that's cool. I like the AI rebellion, I like the I feel like the Doomsday quote-unquote events, I actually really like those, even though I didn't see any of them, especially because when you run into kind of like multiplayer situations, I could very easily see basically just players super turtling and just making it absolute just madness. Let me know the server. But having a war score of only 100 makes it basically damn near impossible for me to really just say, okay, this overlord, I want to take this entire hegemony. I want to take this entire, I want to challenge for this entire sector. And in reverse, you can challenge, I just kind of wish there was more. I was more able to actually challenge for bigger stuff. So like, I would think maybe having a war score that is proportional to your well, no, because then the bigger groups, well, yeah, no, I would like to see a war score that is more proportional to the size of your empire compared to others. So like, for example, I'm this massive super fucking cluster, right? If I see this, I want to be able to challenge with a greater war score at the risk of losing more. So like, say I went into combat with a fallen empire and I challenge for all of his stuff. If I'm trying, or not proportional, yeah, like a percentage. So if I'm challenging for 100% of what he has, he in turn should be able to challenge for 100% of what I have. That's what I kind of would like to be able to see. I understand the idea of these like death by 1,000 cuts kind of thing, but that takes 37 hours to do, and I don't mind that because I understand this is a much more longer game and it's much more kind of it's a lot more like have a nice like cup of tea and read a book while you're playing. It's a lot more casual in terms of like focus, but at the same time, if I'm trying to win the game, I want to win the game. I want to be able to really start rolling my, getting that snowball rolling. But it seemed like having this death by 1,000 cuts kind of thing it just made it a lot more difficult, really. Which, again, I understand that it's a long-term game, but it's just vassalization, or at least, sorry, let me rephrase that, integration. I have been integrating the Rock Dune for since about probably 22 or 23. So it's been about 300 years. Dude, I might as well have just declared war on them and just done the same thing to them. Honestly, I should have done the same thing to these guys, because it was nice having the cannon fodder as the vassals, but fuck me, dude. Trying to just assimilate these guys. I mean, it started out at like 1,800 something. I mean, like, fucking come on, man. Like, again, a little bit of more. Like, I still have another 326 months to go. And, I mean, look at the fucking size of my galaxy. Like, I should just declare war on them. They're like a fucking ass stain on my system. But I you know, it took just so much more longer. But again, it goes into those, just the satellite, the satellite empires around the bigger empires, which kind of, IMO just kind of ruined the gameplay for me. So, summarizing everything I say before I go to bed, is it worth the buy? Yes. The early game, you feel like there's a lot going on, and it definitely feels like there's just, I mean, it feels like you are in a galaxy of just millions of things going on. Late game, early game, sure, that's cool, because they hate you. I can feel that, I can see that, but still though, like, come on, man. Hang on, how much do they hate me? How much is hate? They're disloyal. They've been disloyal for, like, ever. Seriously, they've been disloyal for, like, ever. Terror bombing. I don't remember that, but whatever. Have you got an embassy there? Yeah, I've had an embassy there for almost 300 years. I've had an embassy with them for almost 300 years, man. Like, I've had an embassy with them for a very long-ass time, Duffman. Mid-game, it still feels active. So early game, tons of things going on. I mean, you feel like you're just the busiest little bee going on. Mid-game, it's still active, and you really kind of start seeing the large empires really start to grow, which can be really exciting, at the same time very dull, because when you hit late game, you're still kind of moving around and stuff, but we hit ultra late game. Okay, it was probably because we hit ultra late game that it just felt slow as hell, but it seems like it's almost like trying to stretch out a piece of gum. You know, when you're like chewing gum, you just kind of like, you stretch it. In the beginning phases of pulling that gum, it's still a pretty big wad of gum, but the longer you pull it, the less and less, you know, the less and less girth there is to that piece of gum, and just after a while, it just becomes a piece of string, you know. And when we hit that late game, sure, I was still pulling on that gum, but the amount of gum that was actually getting moved was so insignificant, it just didn't matter.
Hey guys, it's Ghost here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and make sure to turn up that audio, because we're about to kick it.
Goodbye.